crisscross Mexican fan palms next to a really loud road. There could only be one place where this is, and that is my good friend In-N-Out Burger. Everybody loves In-N-Out Burger. I'm so stoked. I just drove all the way down from Northern California. I'm so hungry. I had to deliver some plants along the way. I left at 4:30 in the morning. Had 3 or 4 stops along the way. Now I'm here. Large shake, fries, chocolate shake fries, double animal style, light sauce, extra onions, extra raw onions, extra grilled onions, peppers, you name it. It's so good. Anyway, if you ever are going to install some Mexican fan palms for In-N-Out Burger, there's a very specific way you need to do it. There's this very certain angle, and there's a very specific rope, and it's this rope right here. And there's a very specific knot that needs to be tied, or else, well, look, they messed up. See how that rope on the top has a space above it? That's not supposed to be like that. Quality control should have been here. And I was subject to quality control myself. I've planted some of these guys, and I got in trouble for that. They're like, oh, you can't. You gotta put all the rope together, Gary. What are you doing? What are you doing? You're gonna mess this whole place up. And I'm like, what? Anyway, the rope is to hold it so they don't fall down until those things root. Once they root, they're solid. These things have been in the ground for probably a year. Looks like a pretty new In-N-Out Burger. And anyway, what I wanted to show you is Aloe striata. Striata. You know what striata means? Striata means striped. Can you tell me why they call it Aloe striata? Striata. Here. There. Stripes. There's stripes. There's stripes in there. They don't show very well. But anyway, this plant can have really some beautiful coloration. Right now it's March. It's March 11th, maybe 12th, somewhere in there. And you see what it's doing. It's sending out all its flowers. It's got, people wonder what I'm doing. Yeah, I know. Don't call the cops. I'll be out of here before the cops show up. Anyway, there's a new flower bud coming out. And got a little critter. Got a little somebody making a happy home in there. You can see that beautiful lime green color. Now they are variable in their color depending upon, I guess, the plant, but also the exposure to the sun. They can get kind of pink. They can even get kind of orange. But look at this iridescent color that it gets down here. Here are the new buds coming out. This plant is native to South Africa. What I really like is the color of the flower stalk itself. Isn't that pretty? These plants, they look like they're not suckering. They don't sucker very much, but they do eventually, very slowly. Looks like somebody drove over this one and this one. Yeah. So if you're going to plant these in In-N-Out Burger, make sure you plant them at least 2 feet away from the curb. Oh, look, what did I tell you? There you go. My evil eye spies a sucker. There's a sucker. So they do sucker really slowly. And anyway, you're good. I know I cause a lot of problems. But look down there. It's like this kind of reminds me of Disneyland when they had a little car ride, you know? You drive the cars. There was a road just like this, except it wasn't as beautifully landscaped. And it didn't have as many power poles in the backdrop. But same little road. It was really fun. I think I drove that with my grandpa. He let me drive. It was actually attached to a track, so it wasn't like real driving. I tried really hard to hit people, but it just was not possible. Anyway, so there's your In-N-Out Burger palms. Those are Washingtonia robusta, and we can definitely do that at your house if you want. So what's interesting about this, not to digress from my topic of the moment, the Aloe striata, it's also known as coral aloe. Can you tell why they named it coral aloe? Anyway, this crisscross, you got to watch the movie. It's a mad world. I think that's what it is. I think there's 3 mads in it. Mad world. Anyway, I watched this movie as a kid. It's like a 5-hour movie. And it was the coolest, craziest thing I've ever seen. And so, anyway, they looked for the treasure, and the treasure is buried underneath the palm trees. And so apparently the guy from In-N-Out Burger, this is the guy that's in charge of quality control on the crisscross, and there is a guy that does it. He told me that the way they got this idea was the owner way back in the 50s saw that movie and thought it was awesome, as did I. Of course, I didn't watch it in the 50s. I was watching it in the 70s. But he said, okay, well, the treasure is underneath the crossed palms. And so that's where the In-N-Out Burger cross came from. And so if you put the two palms across out here, the treasure will be underneath. So that's enough about those palms. My burger's probably ready. So let's finish this up. But look at the beautiful coloration. You get a kind of a pink color, kind of purple, kind of green. It's kind of iridescent color on the foliage, depending upon exposure to light. This plant is pretty drought tolerant. In fact, you can probably walk away from it, never water it. However, if you do that, it's probably not going to be that beautiful because it's going to shrivel up. It'll survive, but it'll shrivel up. All these succulents, most of these succulents would rather have ample water. So that's really good. They've got adaptations to survive dry periods, but they would much rather have water. It's like you and I could probably survive a really long time without eating food or water, but would we be happy? Would we be pretty? Probably not. So keep that in mind when you plant this plant. And it's from Africa, South Africa, and same color as this beautiful par. Look at that. What a great way to end that, huh? Woo!